Hey there, welcome back. I'm the Fanatic, and in today's episode, we're doing the scouting report on Shaedon Sharpe. This kid is nice. We talk about a guy that can get to the rim and finish when he's there. He knows how to get to the rim off of cuts, off screens, with the ball in his hands in transition. He knows how to finish when he's there. This kid can pull out just about any dunk you can think of. And even when he's not throwing it down over somebody or pulling it between the legs, he knows how to lay it in with a soft touch. And this kid is so special as a 6'6" shooting guard. And when you look at his athletic tools, because this man is long, he's bouncy, he's fast, he knows how to get it done. Because when you take all of those skills, they also work really well in your favor on defense when you're trying to keep up with defenders, especially against pace and space systems, against fast twitch point guards, against all these guys that can hit you with multiple offensive options. So it's really nice to have that athleticism because it certainly helps your team to guard, at least in a one-on-one situation, against players with multiple options at their disposal, which our league is currently full of. Another thing, though, is when you look at shooting guards like him that are so athletic, and while he's not by any means a bad shooter, he just needs to continue to develop that as well as his playmaking and ball handling. But when you look at players that kind of fit that mold, we've seen a lot of consistency with the fact that they are consistently finding ways to impact NBA rosters. And they aren't exactly appreciated for what they are. Like James Harden. We didn't know that James Harden was going to be a great shooter. There was a lot of questions around his shot, and we didn't think he could transfer it to the next level, which we were obviously wrong about. But the questions were there. And he sort of fit into the same frame where he was this athletic and questionable jump shot wing where we didn't know if it was going to be there, but we kind of knew that it could. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, also a great example of that mold. Credit to Troy Weaver for his work in OKC. Yeah, we love you, Troy. Great work with the Pistons. Anyway, back to the Veil, because that's what you're actually here for. No, he's been very good with all those things, too, when you combine that with... because he's really young right now. He's only a freshman, and when you take that into consideration with how quickly he's progressing as a shooter, he's not a pure shooter by any means, but he's well on his way to becoming a knockdown shooter. For sure. He's progressing incredibly quickly. He has the athletic tools, and when you consider all of that progression in a short amount of time, it's also important to note the determination that requires. You don't get good overnight. You don't become a better player overnight or just because you want to. It takes determination. It takes grinding in the gym. And the fact that we've seen that he's willing to do that projects well for the next level when he gains access to NBA level development and training services. And then when you combine that determination that is bound to mesh well with his teammates, when you combine that with his current skills, and as he gets better training, as he gets more experienced players around him, as he becomes older and gains more knowledge about the game and starts recognizing more things and he studies film, we're going to see that he becomes a much better defender. We're going to see that he becomes a much better offensive player. And he's going to be a lot better than what he is now, and even that, because he's really good right now. Like, there are currently mock drafts that have him ranked up to the first overall pick right now, which is insane to think about, considering his age, considering his quick progression, his determination, all these amazing things. He's just checking box after box after box for what you want in, I don't want to say franchise player, but the way he plays is certainly marketable. It certainly can it certainly can lead to winning basketball games, and who knows, if we see that he continues to make big leaps, if we continue to see that there are teams in the top 5 of the lottery that decide, hey, we need a shooting guard, or we need a big scoring presence, or we need more finishing, then hey, we could be seeing him as not only a top 5 pick, but potentially a top 3, depending on how the draft lottery shakes out. And that's a really interesting thing to think about with someone so young, is if you combine that, because you obviously don't want him to have a huge amount of expectations on him right off the bat. That's one of the reasons why some of the later picks like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were able to develop, is they didn't really have as much pressure on them. They were able to stick with what they do and continue to develop themselves rather than having to worry about all this outside influence and noise, which is a terrible thing for a young guy to have to deal with. It was part of the reason why Tyler Hero took a little bit of a step back, but of course Tyler Hero figured it out, and he's a great player, especially now. Love him. He's made some of the best plays I've ever seen. Got the confidence of Rex Chapman. Go watch Rex Chapman highlights against Michael Jordan if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, back on topic. But when you combine all of that with, if he gets drafted maybe somewhere around 4 or 5 or somewhere in the later half of the top 10, then you have to be excited about not only what kind of a steal we could be seeing here, but the potential of what kind of team, with those kinds of picks, we could be seeing him go to that might need this. And when you combine that with a team that's not necessarily desperately in need of a franchise-changing player, they just had some bad injury luck or something, then we could be seeing something very interesting with his situation, where he could make a team a title contender right off bat, which would be really cool to see, to be honest. Of course, again, that's another thing with expectations, is it wouldn't be great for him, because we don't want him to get pushed into like Jonathan Kuminga being asked to start 40 minutes a game on the Warriors. Like, that just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't work out well for anybody. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.